Hi everyone, so sorry about that. There was a technical difficulty, but join back, come back, welcome again. Sorry about that. Something went wrong, but so welcome everyone. We're back. I don't know what happened, but we're back. We're
I
back.
thought it was my phone because my phone
Yeah,
just
I
wakes up
don't know
all the
what happened,
time.
but we're back. Welcome everyone. We're just going to wait for a few more people. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the live. It's our last monologue feedback, and it was a juicy one. So welcome. And oh, what's happened with Jocelyne? Oh, well, let's send a request. Oh, um, um, I don't know how to add people. I'm new to this, but we'll
Neither
figure
do
it
I,
out.
sis. Neither do I.
um, Welcome everyone. I'm just trying to sort out getting Jocelyne onto the live with us to discuss this last monologue. Let me try and send her a request. No. I'm trying to add you, Jocelyne, but it won't let me add you for some reason, strange reason. But welcome everyone to the live.
If she comes off the live and then comes on, it will
Yeah.
it will do that certain something in the comments and say request to join. So you could just press that button.
Yeah.
Probably, hopefully.
Okay. Oh, we just got a comment. Instagram hasn't been working properly. Okay. Okay,
I hope
thank
she
you for
comes on because I don't want to be alone on this.
that. You'll be absolutely fine. We're just trying to sort out this live. I don't know what's going on. We're going to sort this out. Jocelyne, if you just jump off and then come back in, I can try. And then if you see the request button, and then we could just continue. Let's just continue as we just wait for Jocelyne to join. So as when she joins, you could just jump into the conversation. So welcome everyone to the last feedback of this month. As we know, we've been doing our campaign this April to be spreading awareness about sexual abuse and every form of sexual assault. As you know, we are Yoka. We are a campaign where we are advocating for women's rights in sexual abuse, especially with sexual assault, revenge pornography, and rape. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for leaving time out just to join us to engage in this conversation. So just a trigger warning. This is a trigger warning to everyone. This conversation is very sensitive. If you feel like you can't take it, just handle it. Please leave the live. And when you're ready, you can join back. So let's just crack on with it and just discuss. So Aurelie, tell us more about yourself before we just start.
Hi everyone. My name is Aurelie Tshiama. It sounds better in a French accent. I don't know why. I'm an interior designer, co-founder of a tech agency, and just your average girl, really.
I've seen your work and I love your work. I've seen
Thanks.
you. You have
Thanks. Don't make me
amazing work.
blush. Don't make me blush.
So let's just crack on. So let's just first talk about the monologue itself. What did you think about it?
You know what? The first thing, it opened my eyes, actually. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah,
because when we hear about the whole Kanga Motema thing, we well, I automatically think about the young women who are kind of
yeah,
like trapped in marriages.
yeah,
But to see an older lady talk about like Kukanga Mudima, it was like, oh my gosh, like there are actually women who are much older in age who
yeah,
have literally been gangaing the Mudima for years, and especially from the culture that we're in,
yeah,
they naturally don't see a way out.
yeah,
So for us, we're connected to social media, we have stuff like yoga, basically, where we are able to know, okay, cool, this is not
yeah,
normal. Compared to them as older women, they've been brought up this way, so there's actually no way out for them. So obviously
Yeah.
after watching the monologue, I was thinking, oh my gosh, there are women who probably won't be able to experience living life for themselves
Yeah.
just because of the culture that they were growing up in. And I think that for me was a bit scary. And one more thing before I just start rambling, because I'm a rambler. Um, it touched home because some of these women are our mothers, are our
Yeah.
aunties, are our godmothers, and we
Yeah.
have no idea because they're covering up for their husbands.
Yeah.
But because we see them as they take care of their kids, or we assume that they're happy in the relationship. But because they're taught not to talk about it, we assume that everything's okay. These times they're actually like going through it,
Yeah.
and that's what really, really, really bothered me a little bit.
I think, yeah, I completely agree. Like for me, especially watching that, because watching that, it made me like feel that it's not only the older generation is talking about it now
Yeah,
than before. Like you said, there is social media now where people have access to see what's going on, or there are a lot more organizations, especially within the
absolutely.
Western society,
Right.
which are helping women in these situations. And one thing within the monologue itself really touched me was the fact that she was too scared to even go to her in-laws to tell them like, this is what your son's doing to me, because she felt like she'll be failing her marriage in a way, and that was very upsetting. And it's something that needs to really be spoken about in our culture.
Honestly, it does.
Yeah.
I don't know, because especially that monologue, it kind of triggered the thought that if, for example, in her monologue, luckily she was able to talk about it.
Yeah.
But in real life, there are women who can't speak about it. And because it's so normal to them, they're teaching their children that as well. So it's like
Yeah.
there's this generation that's being brought up by this culture
Yeah.
that will never know it's to be unnormal to be out of that culture, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
they'll grow up to think it's normal to go through stuff in your marriage and keep quiet and just kind of
Mm.
like suffer through it. And that really breaks my heart. I hate it.
Yeah, so everyone in the comments, just comment down what you think about the term Kanga Motema to you, and what's your beliefs about it as well. And it's something that's even, some people are even teaching their kids now when
Yes.
they go off to marriage. And it's sometimes I feel like people get conflict, like younger girls are getting conflicted. Do they follow their culture, or do they go their own way and not listen? And some girls, I believe, feel trapped in that, whereas
Right.
they feel like if they don't listen to older people, they're disrespecting them. Whereas I feel like it's a time where, especially for our parents, aunties, uncles, they need to learn, like, maybe that was because that was something they were taught in their generation.
Yeah.
That's their normal, and our normal's completely different now.
It
Yeah.
would be, our normal would be considered rebellion to them.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
that's mad to me because I'm gonna rebel today because to me, then no, it's crazy. It's so crazy.
It's crazy, like, especially now we're in the 21st century where women now are working. Back then women were fully depending on their husbands to provide
Yeah.
everything. Now that a woman, especially in the Western world, has a voice
Yeah.
where they have their career, make their own money,
Yeah.
I think the term Kanga Mutim is like, no, you can't be using that term, because they feel like, I think a lot of women back then feel like if they do quote unquote rebel or speak out, if the husband was to leave them, they would have nothing. They would, because they didn't work, they didn't do anything, they would have nothing. Whereas now it's more the fact that there's a lot of support here, especially in the UK. There's a lot of, especially like domestic abuse, like there's a lot of services that women can go to, getting accommodation, counselling, and I feel like that's a great thing here. And I know back home that's something that needs to be implemented a lot more, though we're growing slowly back home, but I feel like it's something that needs to grow a lot more. Yeah. What do you
And
think
what
about that?
I would
Yeah.
love to say in addition to that as well, even though there are like support systems and like
Yeah.
people that you can reach out to, it starts from ourselves. Like when we see a
Yeah.
woman, we need to learn how to encourage women to find value in themselves as just a woman, not
Yeah.
as a woman in how it will benefit a man, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we use the terminology oh, you can cook. Oh, that means you're gonna be a good wife. Do you know what I mean? Oh, you're a good big sister. You're gonna be a good mother. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So we always like or for example, or if you're beautiful, or you're gonna get a lot of manly attraction to you. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That kind of language, we find it as normal, or it is normal, but that
Yeah.
language subconsciously, it tells us that whatever I do as a woman, it
Mm.
is only valuable if it benefits a man. So I feel like although we have these like support centers and like, you know, like stuff like Yoka, basically, it
Yeah.
starts with how we communicate as women to each
Yeah.
other. Do you know what I mean? When I
Completely
say
agree.
a woman's beautiful and she's beautiful. That's it. Oh, it's
Yes.
not, oh yeah, you're beautiful. You're gonna get moved to today. No, 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 no. Because that now tells me that I'm beautiful only
Yeah.
if that man moves to me. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's in the
Completely
little
agree.
things, or if you can cook, she can cook, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? It does not
Yeah.
make her a good wife. It doesn't mean her husband will eat properly. No,
Mm.
she's just a good cook. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
stand that language where it's, you know what? I can't stand it now because I feel like by the grace of God, he opens these things for me to see, kind of thing. But some
Yeah.
women, that's what they're born in. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, if I can cook, that means my husband's gonna eat good, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. No, you're just a good cook. You can cook. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like I said before, because I like to repeat my words sometimes, I don't know why. But if you have like a little sister or a friend or a woman,
Mm-hmm.
like a woman like you know or whatever, the language you need to speak to them is just to make sure that it values them as a woman and as a woman
Yeah.
alone. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, never compare what they're good at to see how it will support a man, because subconsciously it will just bring generations of
Yeah.
women that find their value in how it can benefit a man. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Completely agree. We have a comment from Jessie which says, it's the part about you married me with money for me. The older generation seem to think a wife is a possession or an object.
Anyways, that's triggering,
Yeah,
because
that's a true.
one, half the time, okay, this whole thing with marriage, we understand it's a culture, it's a
Yeah.
tradition, but it's a beautiful tradition at that. I'm not gonna lie, kind
Yeah.
of thing. When it's respected properly, do you know what I mean? And I would say it's a beautiful tradition, but for some, it's the beginning of their nightmare. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's a bit hard for me to say it's a beautiful tradition, but it is tradition nevertheless, kind of thing. I just feel like in those type of situations where, especially back in Congo, to be bought with money, it does tell the man that they possess the woman as a possession, kind of thing.
Mm.
And a lot of families back then, they're not going to have access to the information that we have to know that this is not right, kind of thing, to
Yeah.
pay a bride price and then take your woman
Yeah.
as your property, kind of thing. You still have to
Yeah.
treat her like a woman. um so I think our responsibility in that is just starting it from the generation around
Yeah.
us, what we see around us, kind of thing. That, because me, I want to get married, I want to have, the
Mm-hmm.
beautiful traditional wedding, kind of thing. But it's just the matter of just educating men to know that even though you're buying me with money, I'm gonna leave. You will waste your money if you need to. Do you know what I mean? You will waste your money. It will be a loss to you, because it's not that you're buying me and now that everything I must do, I must pay you because I don't want you to waste your money. I am not an item. Do you know what I mean?
I
And
completely agree.
yeah, you're not an item. You're not an item. You're not a shop bought item. If you don't want your money to be a waste, treat me properly. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is. If you're gonna do this traditional thing, oh yeah, I'm paying then it's common sense. If you're paying me money, treat me properly. But if you're not, you just made a loss. Do you know what I mean? So I just think it's just about knowing how to use
Yeah.
the traditions we have in place in respect of either person.
Completely.
I
I
think that's what it
completely agree.
is.
I just think,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Sorry to intercede. That I just completely agree with everything you're saying. And
Mm,
culture for me is very important. Growing
100.
up Congolese, so culture is very important, especially a culture of the traditional wedding. And I completely
Yeah.
agree when you said that we should appreciate the culture, not abuse it. You
Mm,
know, I think a
mm,
traditional wedding is so beautiful that,
yeah.
it's a man, for me, like, it signifies a man showing, it's not, but I believe it's not a form of buying me. Like, I think
Mm-hmm.
it's a sign of showing that you
Honoring.
brought, honoring the
Mm,
parents and the family
right.
of the woman that you're marrying. And I feel like a lot of people have abused that, saying, especially when they get into the marriage and
Mm-hmm.
say, I bought you with this money, you are mine. But no, you gave this money to
Today I will
honor.
return your money because
Yeah.
you are.
So if you want to say that, let me return your money then, in saying I
Mm,
bought you, let me buy myself back. If
mm,
you're telling me I
mm,
bought you with this money. And I feel like, I know that back home sometimes, watching a lot of things, early back in the day.
Yeah.
I know that some families married off their daughters because they were poor, and
Yeah.
you know, and men, you know, some men have abused that, and it probably still happens now. Like men abuse that, saying, "I bought your daughter, so she's gonna be doing this, and this for me," and the girl doesn't have any say, which is very sad, toxic.
I think it's disgusting, and
Yeah,
I feel so helpless because
yeah,
what can I do in that situation? Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
If I know someone that's going through that, I'm gonna be there and tell them, listen, you can come out of this if you want to, but unfortunately, there's some women that are never gonna get that kind of escape, or you know, they're
yeah,
never gonna know they can escape that, and I mourn for them. Like I'm
yeah,
really sad for them.
yeah,
And I can only just pray that God's grace that allows them to know that there's a way out. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, for what you can't do over there where it's far, just start with what you can do around you. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So that that generation, that culture, just as much as you can, just try to eliminate that around you. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. I completely agree. I
Yeah, it's sad.
completely
It's so
agree with
sad.
that. And just one thing, also, I think one thing that stood out for me in the monologue, 'cause I love to talk and I love to put my 2 cents in the conversation, especially when it's a big decision within a household. And I think what was very shocking and sad for me that in the monologue was she didn't get a say in anything. Like there was no say. It could be a say about anything, but she get no say because the man be like, "I'm the man. I'm the breadwinner. It's my way or no way." But that's not marriage. Marriage is a partnership. The woman has complete right to say what she needs to say. What about if the husband was to make a very stupid decision? The wife may know more about the problem than he would, but no,
Right.
because she's a woman, no, it's
Exactly.
because because you're a woman, you don't know anything. No, but women know a lot. So that was something that stood out to me in the monologue as well, because you know, it's like, especially what you're saying is, I've bought you, so you have to do everything that I say. No, is this love, or is this just buying, or is this a contract? Is, you know, marriage is not a contract whereby you do everything that I say. It's a partnership.
Exactly.
And yeah, I think Jessie put a comment, and by the way, in the monologue, she's being raped. And that's something that's not really spoken about as well.
Oh, because she's in a marriage, you can't get
Yeah,
raped.
yeah,
It's so funny because I'm watching a theatre about that right now, so it's really triggering a little
yeah,
bit. But can I say trigger warning, by the way?
yeah.
Because
Trigger
yeah,
warning. Yeah,
um, I hate that. I hate that statement. If she's in a marriage, she can't get raped.
yeah,
Listen, my body is mine.
yeah.
A woman's body is hers. If she
Completely.
doesn't want to have sex, she don't want to have sex. If she's refusing and you're forcing on her, just because you paid the bride price, it doesn't mean that you can force yourself on her. That is
Yeah,
rape.
yeah,
And I don't like talking about it because it's triggering for some. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? And it's a sensitive topic because you know some people, some women will approach them with these situations and they're totally defensive. Like
yeah,
they're so defensive because they're like, how dare you speak against what is normal to me? Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? So as much as we can talk about it safely here, whatever, but it's
yeah,
so hard to kind of try and get women out of this situation, and I think that's what's so heartbreaking. I
yeah.
don't know. What do you think about it? Because I don't like that rape topic, especially in
No,
marriage. I don't
I
like it at
hate that.
all.
Even today, in one of our videos, there was a comment it was a comment made by another woman saying that, you know, stories like this shouldn't be said out, or shouldn't be put in public, because you're ruining men's chances of getting married. You're ruining, you're making that, like, you know, men can't get married. You're making women scared of men by putting out your stories. I'm just like, that's ridiculous. And
Okay.
yeah, and you know, it's very scary that this was a comment made by a woman, not a man. If it was a man, I'm not saying any whether a man or woman, it's right for that comment to be made, but when it's a fellow woman making that comment, it's very scary, because you can see how ingrained the
It's in
culture
her
is within.
head.
Yeah, yeah,
Like how as a woman are you saying such a thing?
yeah,
As if it's ruin. So she's basically is ruining the chances of men raping their wives, basically, to have sex when they want in a marriage.
yeah,
No, I'm not your sex toy. I don't understand that.
yeah,
So, what really annoys me is that why do you see yourself so low in value? Like,
Yeah.
generally, do you know
Mm.
what I mean? Like, I just feel like every person is like a young child. They have a young child in them that wants to explore and to enjoy life for themselves. Does it really bring you enjoyment to know that you don't want to have sex and someone's using your body to please themselves? I don't get that, but I can't judge.
Mm.
I can't judge that person because
Yeah.
that's what's normal to them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just always have to ask that question. Just generally, you're not
Yeah.
happy. Do you know what I mean? You're not happy. Does it not, like, in situation what you just said? How does knowing that you're not happy? How does it feel that subtracting your happiness for someone else's happiness
Mm-hmm.
bring you to a point where you are defensive over a monologue like what was just shown? Like, how
Yeah.
does it take? How do you come to a place where you want to defend men that cause? I
Mm.
don't know. I don't know. It just renders me speechless, I think.
Yeah. We have one comment asking what is the name of the director that you are watching?
I don't know if you guys know the names of the people involved. Right, because I'm watching a new one. I'm watching Sila's new one. But if you DM me, I'm gonna find the link because it's all my YouTube research. I'll send it to you. So very, very good. It actually
Yes.
highlights this what we're talking about, which is
Yeah.
very encouraging to me to know that Congolese theatre has really moved up because they're really
Mm.
educating us on very like social issues, which is very, very
Yeah.
good. But yeah, please DM me and I'll definitely send you the link.
Yeah, so this is concluding everything. Thank you so much.
Already?
Yeah, we nearly in half an got.
Damn.
Yeah, we can speak so much more. Like I could speak about this for hours and end. But
Mm,
this was such a great conversation, and this conversation needs to continue happening
yeah,
within our homes with
right.
people that we know, and it's such a great conversation to have. And I
Mm-hmm.
just thank you so much for joining me today,
That's fine.
Aurelie, with this, because this monologue has caused shockwaves. With so many comments, with so like there's been amazing comments, but you get those comments which shock you as well. So it's
Mm,
showing that people are getting triggered about this. People are getting
yeah,
triggered by this movement, and
yeah,
it's amazing that we have women that are standing up for other women and
absolutely.
making, especially within our community. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you so much. And guys, don't forget the 29th of April, our documentary is coming out. Please stay tuned for that. And then we'll be doing a review of that documentary soon as well. Please don't miss out. Thank you everyone for joining. If you
Thank
feel like
you.
you've been triggered or you want to reach out to us, please, I tried to get Jocelyne on, but it's not letting me bring her on. Sorry, Jocelyne. I don't know if she's still there. We tried to get her on, but it doesn't seem to be working, so we can try another time. But thank you everyone for
Thank you so much,
joining so much.
everyone.
Thank you, and we shall be seeing. Oh, they're telling me not to end the live. You're here. Jocelyn is here. Okay, we're gonna swap.
Yeah,
Apparently,
yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, yeah,
we're
that's
gonna
fine.
swap.
Shall I
Okay.
come off?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
cool.
Thank you so
Bye,
much, Aurelie.
everyone.
Thank you.
No
Thank you so
worries, no
much.
worries.
Jocelyn, do you mind sending a request to see I can put you on? Um, Hey, we
Hi,
finally got you.
finally.
Hello. We finally got
Hi.
you. I'm good. How are
I
you?
know. I'm good, I'm good.
Good. Tell us about yourself, a brief introduction.
Okay, so my name is Jocelyne, but everyone calls me Jock. I am a radio presenter on QFM. It's an Irish radio station, and also a host on the official classroom as well.
Nice. Nice. So for those joining back, or those who are joining new, we are Yoka, and we are a campaign for women and women's rights within sexual abuse, where we focus on sexual assault, revenge pornography, and rape. I'm just going to give another trigger warning to those who have just joined, that this conversation may trigger you. If it does, please leave the live, and when you feel like you are ready, join back. So thank you for joining us, Jocelyne.
Thank
So
you.
like I started with Aurelie. So how did you find the monologue? What was your take?
Sorry, the house is a bit busy at filming. I just thought I was just shocked, and like already said before, at first I kind of thought Kanga was just like a younger generation type thing.
Yeah.
But then thinking about it, well, after the monologue, it kind of had me thinking like, oh my God, it actually is an older generation thing as well. It's been happening forever.
Yeah.
And like the start of it said, like secrets, like our community is so focused on keeping everything a secret. If you
Yeah.
want to travel, you have to keep it a secret. If you're pregnant, keep it a secret. Do you get me?
Everything's
Everything's
secret.
a secret. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like our community just have this perception of like marriage, like as if it's a trophy, like as if
Mm-hmm.
like it's the end goal, and it's like there's so much more than marriage. And like
Yeah.
if you're like, it's not a shameful thing that if you're not happy in a marriage, you can't leave, like, or you do have a voice.
Yeah. And I know there's one comment that a lot of people always say, that marriage is the only certificate you get when you don't study. So you don't have to study for
Oh my
marriage.
God.
And I just think it's so hilarious when that comment is made, because it's so true. You don't need
It
to study.
is.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
And it's such a funny comment. And I just feel like people value marriage so high, especially in our community. It's such a high pedestal. Like, you're married, you've made it. And it's like you're in the gang.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, like, I don't know how it's UK, but when added, it's like, oh, you're in a special gang, like you're elite, like, oh my God, marriage gang. And it's like, there's more to life than this. Like, and half these people, you see that they are suffering in marriages. Like, I like again, like, I can only speak on what I see in Dublin, and like, thank God I'm able to speak to like some like the older aunties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they're very open about saying like they're not happy in their situation.
Yeah.
They're, they've left, or they're like, oh, I thought it was gonna be like this, and I end up in a divorce. And like, we need to be able to speak more and stop this thing of like secrecy in our community, honestly.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, just the term is so Kanga Mopiti. Like, when people
Yeah.
say it, it just makes me cringe a little bit.
Do you know, I hate that phrase so much now. Like, I just feel like people misinterpret the phrase as well, and I just hate
Yeah.
it. They take the piss out of it so much.
Yeah. It's such a term which, I don't know, like the words that say, like, you can be using, I'm not saying you can use in a good way, but it's just the term. It's like whenever you hear it, I just keep rolling my eyes every
Yeah,
time.
same. I just like, I can't. I exit the conversation. I'm not even here for it.
Yeah, I'm like, what's the point? And it's like, especially in the monologue, it shows how toxic that term is, and it's when just watching her just pour out her emotions, and it's like she can't pour it out to anyone else. Like,
Yeah.
she's pouring it in front of a camera, like saying, like, if she pours out to her husband and tell her, this is how I really feel, he's gonna think she crazy, or he's
He'll
gonna,
literally
yeah,
he'll literally be like, "Gonna banana and bongo." So what are you talking about?
yeah,
Or even some of Kangi's face be like, "Oh, long lang Sony, na family." All this, like, what even is that? Like,
yeah. And it's like, when, for example, when a woman wants to speak out, she's, like you said, bringing shame
yeah.
to the family
But
because
the
of,
thing is, like, even with that, we've heard stories of like a lot of people in that community, like they literally, we had to bury them because of situations where Bakanki Motema, whatever. Like, I don't know if you
yeah,
remember years ago, there's a story, some girl Cynthia, she got married and her man killed her and chopped up and had her in the freezer for months. Do you get me? And things like
yeah,
that, where she came to her family and they're like, oh, Kanka Motema, Zamobali, Abala Bongo, Along
yeah.
Biso Sony, all this is like, she's dead now. Do you get me? Like, what, like, the money that he's all spent, where's that now? Do you get me?
And they don't really, a lot of men are not held accountable for their
A
actions.
100%. Oh, never, never. And that's the thing. Like, I know someone in the comments said like there's certain rules in our culture that only applies to women, and
Yeah,
that's it. It's
yeah, I
ridiculous.
completely agree. Like, it's one way for a woman, there's another way for a man. And I just feel like, as women, we get taught, "Hang on with them, I need to be like this to your husband, you need to be," but like, a guy's never taught, a man is never taught what to do within a marriage. And it's
At
like,
all. At
yeah,
all.
and it's like, they expect the man just to go in free will and act like the way he acts, like in his house. But you know, I just feel like a lot of things, boys, even young boys now in the community, they're not taught. And I feel like girls are taught from a very young age, this is how you need to be in your household. You need to be able to do this, able to do that. But a man is never taught, this is what you need to do for your wife. This is how you treat
They're
a woman at
always being
home.
said, oh no, back at me badly. You know, boys will be boys. Like, what does that even mean? They're never held accountable for anything at all. Like, even young girls going to church, you'll hear, oh no, because I want to watch football, me been there, because you know all the men can't be seen you've been. It's only for marriage. What are you talking about? It's hot. I can't wear cycling shirts. I'm about to get married. You get me?
Yeah, like
like
even
ridiculous comments.
yeah, like someone put a comment, but women have more power than men. And I was like, yeah, because we have to choose the man. We, you know,
But no, we
but you
have
just put,
power, but
yeah,
you don't give us the ability to exercise that power.
yeah,
Do you
yeah,
get me? You don't.
yeah,
And it's not, as when I say use, I mean our community. It's frowned upon.
yeah. It's so true. Like, you know, when we want to, a lot of, you know, nowadays a lot of women are so strong. They're independent. They're doing their thing,
But we
and you
get
know,
called
some,
titi. We get called
yeah,
titi, banafoto, like insults. Oh no, Atula,
yeah,
and she doesn't like men. What? Horrible, horrible words. Like, and you have to just be really strong and be like, you know what? No, I know what I want, and that's it.
yeah. Because like in the monologue, I just feel like deep down, the woman, I feel like she's a strong woman, but then I feel like the way she's spoken is like the man had oppressed her free spirit down, like that she's trapped in something that, you know, she thought it would be love, but didn't end up being love. You know, it just ended up being, like I always say, like a contract. I'm here, you're here. No, my family's fine, your family's fine. They're happy. Let's just rock it out until the end and act like we're all happy, which I find really sad.
Like Chinese people always say, like I always hear anyway that oh no, the balance are ya ale retour like
Oh, I've never
like
heard
so
that.
yeah, I always hear that in your head, you know that
That's new
basically
to
the
me.
way I'm going here, there's no way I can come back. And they say you can't come back. Whatever you do, frame it. Like you hear even like recently, Lina Mdele, she's an ex dancer from Wera, and she's basically saying that like her man beats her. She's like, oh no, like sometimes you know, man, but you know, pa corriging like to educate me and stuff like. What are you talking about? And people are popping in the comments like, yeah, you know, she's right. You know, this is a real woman, stuff like that. Like her
Yeah,
man doesn't have to be here to educate her. What do you mean a man has to educate me? Like that's what I feel like the whole image of marriage in our community is very I don't know, it's sorry, hold on.
yeah,
It's very it's I don't even, it's toxic. Like they have a weird image of like what marriage is like, and it's basically you're his worker or you're his slave, and that's it. Whatever he says goes. Do you get me?
yeah. I completely agree. We're not objects. We are people, you know. And you know, it's in that monologue. I think Jessie was saying it in the comments, like she was raped, and you know, we're not objects. Women are not objects. It's not lie down, I'm going to do what I want. We are people, and that's not right. And I feel like a lot of people don't know. It's like it's in the law that you know, even if you're married, you can
Yeah,
still rape your wife. You
yeah,
can still
yeah.
rape when the woman doesn't want to have sex with you. It's still it's rape. It's rape.
But
And
even that law, it's like in some places that law doesn't even exist. If anything, that law is still kind of new, which is a sad part
yeah,
as well. Like,
yeah,
and even with that, like I've been told, and I've seen like bridal showers and stuff where like the aunties are telling like the brides that, oh no, you know, libalaza for lambabia and for you know osalabian in the room. Like what? Like watching marriage is just sex and being able to cook and
mm-hmm,
going into like that's the advice that you're getting as a newlywed that I
mm-hmm.
you know you need to be good in bed, and then they started doing like lessons of like papa boy or first to like papa like come on like what about me? What about my needs?
Yeah. It's it's so true. Like, you know, we expect it to be one way. What? And then there's no expectation for a man. I just feel like there's never like a list. A woman always has a list. She has to be like this, like that, and
Yeah.
rules everything. But a man, there's like all he has is be the breadwinner. Like there's no,
Yeah.
you need to treat your wife like this.
Like
You need to,
once he pays the money and the stuff on the list is good, like that he's good.
yeah.
That's it.
And I just think it's so ridiculous that stuff like this happens, and it's still happening. You know, some people say, oh, it's only in the older generation. No, like even in our generation now, stuff like this is still happening. Women are still being
100%.
raped in their marriages, and they don't know that what this man is doing is wrong. And you know, they may like brush it over and be like, oh yeah, he was a bit aggressive yesterday. Oh, that's okay. That's not okay. If you
Emotional abuse,
yeah,
and it's just like, oh no, like some aunties will be like, oh, pray about it. Oh no, it's like or maybe you done so on, and it's like, what does that even mean? Like, what if that's just how the guy is? He's just aggressive. To get me, like, how can I go past that? Like, it's not every day pray about things. There's some things that prayer can't fix. We have to be active. To get me.
Yeah.
And like we love using like, oh God, and prayer it opens doors. It is the key of all things. However, the Bible even says like you do have to be active as well. We just like do no, pray for him to stop beating you, pray for him to stop cheating. Like what? Come on, guys. We need to be.
It's even a comment from Jesse. There's little expectation for a man. I wouldn't say there's none at all.
Yeah, there is little expectation. Yeah, there really is. Not the list isn't as long as it is for women anyway.
Yeah. And again, I forgot he has to want it for himself too. Okay. But it's just like, you know, for a woman, it's like a lot of. I think it's hard, like just especially being Congolese girls in this generation, whereby we want to do our thing, but our culture saying no. You know, our culture saying it's not the way. What you're doing now is wrong. Like, you know, Aurelie was saying, we're being rebels. Like to adults, we're rebels. Rebels at this point.
Yeah,
just being rebellious. But
so they just call us all Abakiti, Like I hear some men like in our generation, they'd be like, "Oh no, I'm gonna go to Congo and find a wife there because women in the diaspora are too rebellious and you don't like men, you all this." And I'm like, no, it's because I know what I want and I know my rights, and I'm open about and I'm vocal about what I need and what I want. That's when there's a fear of that, like, you know, I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah, it's so true. So true. Just have one comment. We need to normalize leaving if this not working, because life is too precious. And
100%.
Your life is greater. Like your life is a lot more precious. You have family. This man got to go. Like if he's not, you know, why do you want to die somewhere where you have a whole life ahead of you? Like there's no such thing as Sunni. It's not a shame to leave. It really isn't. But we're gonna have to wrap this up. So thank you so much, Jocelyne, for joining us.
Thank you for having
me. Thank you. And thank you everyone else for staying put for these last 41 minutes. And thank you again. Just a reminder, our documentary is coming out next week, 29th of April. Please do not miss out. And we shall be doing another live giving feedback on this documentary. If anyone has felt triggered or anyone has been touched by this live today, please do not hesitate to send us a message in our inbox, and our aftercare team shall be in touch with you and you get the help that you need. So thank you so much everyone for joining, and we shall see you when the documentary comes out. Thank you so much everyone.
Bye guys, thank you.
Bye.